best of the best, beautiful, wealthy, all that kinds of things. If you're amazing, you can call yourself Aristos. Crazy is a suffix that appears in many words. It comes from the Greek word of kretos, meaning strength. The words this suffix appear in are more often than not names of various kinds of governments. We all know what a government is, right? The group of people with authority over a land, whose job is to create and uphold the law. Love them or hate them, governments are found all across the planet. Yet despite being so omnipresent, they do not all operate in the same way. Different governments operate in very different ways, from how they choose those in power to how they are influenced by other sources. All these different kinds of governments have different names, and that's where those crazy words come into play. As mentioned, the crazy part of these names means strength. This makes the former part of these names make a tad more sense too, as they refer to how these governments are finding their strength. So let's look into a few of these crazy words / government names and find out what exactly they mean and how the non-crazy part of their name reflects how they rule. And where better to start than with perhaps the most well-known of government out there, a democracy. This is a kind of government where power is bestowed upon the people of the land, whether that be by letting them vote and have a say in everything, or by letting the people elect officials to represent them. It's through democracy's ability to represent the masses as to where the demo part of the name comes from. It simply comes from the old Greek demos, which means common people, because democracy puts power and strength within the common people, at least in theory anyway. Not all democracies actually live up to that name. An aristocracy, meanwhile, is very different to a democracy. This is when power and ruling is given not to the masses, but instead to a small ruling class in the land, known as aristocrats. These are normally people from wealthy families of historic importance. It has nothing to do with singing cats, that's just a Disney movie. The aristo, which appears in aristocracy as well as in aristocrat, is once again Greek, with their word of olistos, which means best of their kind, /noble, /bravest, and just any kind of awesome word that can link with a person you can think of. This is just the go-to, like they are Aristos, which means best of the best, beautiful, wealthy, all that kinds of things. If you're amazing, you can call yourself Aristos, but clearly, over time, it has become to mean just these posh, well-to-do people, and I'm sure many people who live in democracies may feel they are more actually living in one of these instead. Before we continue, I want to say a huge thank you to my most recent patrons. So thank you to new patron DM Rotash. Patreon is the best way to financially support Name Explain, and donating just $1 a month gets you ad-free videos, a chance to say what names I'd explain, an exclusive monthly newsletter, and your name at the end of these videos. All of that can be found at patreon.com/Name Explain, which will be linked down below. Conversely, if you want to just make a one-time donation, you can leave a super thanks directly in the comments section of any of my videos here on YouTube. They help out tremendously too. Thank you. Autocracy, meanwhile, is the next step up from aristocracy. Instead of the land being governed by a small group of people, they are ruled by one singular person. Think a monarch who controls everything in a kingdom, or a dictator. It's these kinds of places that are dubbed autocracies. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Auto is a suffix we hear all the time, and it simply means self, like how an automatic car is one that can change gears by itself, for example. Autocracies use this prefix down to the fact that the government is ruled by one singular person, all by themselves. Is this a good idea? Well, historically no, but you never know. All it takes is one good egg, maybe. Maybe we could have a good dictator. I don't know, it never really goes that well. One person really shouldn't wield too much power. That's my hot take anyway. But there's been that rise. I saw there was like a poll by Gen X saying like they'd rather have a dictator, which is a choice. I don't know. If you're part of that poll of young people who think that's a better thing, just let us know down below, because it's interesting to hear from you. A technocracy is a really interesting one. At first glance, you may presume it's a government ruled by the technologically advanced, or maybe even ruled by technology itself. And that's because the prefix is often linked to technology and computers and such. This techno prefix comes once again from Greek and initially meant an art, craft, or skill. As well as giving us the word technology, it also gave us the word technical. The techno in technocracy actually relates more to the word technical than technology, as a technocracy is the idea of a government run by people with good technical skills in specific areas. Many, I'm sure, would think this is a much more logical way to run things. It's just a shame the name isn't too clear on that and makes many people think it means a government run by robots or techno musicians or something. And finally, we have a kleptocracy. This is the idea of a government ruled by thieves and the corrupt. The klept part is once again Greek with their word of kleptos, which means a thief or cheater. We see this in the term kleptomania too, a mental disorder in which people affected by it can't resist the urge to steal things, with sufferers of kleptomania being called kleptomaniacs. There are many kinds of ways to govern out there, and this has only been 5 of them, so let me know about any other interesting forms of government I missed out on this video, because there's loads out there, trust me. And of course, please suggest a topic down below we could cover in next Monday's Name Explain video. It can be about literally anything, and the topic can be as niche or broad as you like. I will then choose 3 of the topics and place them in a poll for my patrons to vote on. Then the winner from that poll will be the topic covered next Monday's Name Explain video. At least that's how it normally works anyway. Last week we had a 3-way tie for the poll. It was insanity. So I'm kind of just doing all 3 of them in a row. So last week we did the spoon video. Now we're doing this video. Next week we'll do the other one, and then we'll actually find a fresh poll. But please do still leave suggestions down below, because it will help out for future polls. Just, more suggestions, more possible video ideas. Happy times. So when there is a poll available, you can vote in that poll, as well as enjoy many other great benefits by visiting patreon.com/nameexplain, which will be linked down below, and by donating just $1 a month. Thank you. Anyway, that's more than enough for myself, but don't forget to go follow on Instagram where I'm NameExplainYT, and don't forget to join the Facebook page, Friends of Name Explain, where you can chat with myself and many other name nerds. Okay all, take care. This is my second attempt at recording this first paragraph, because I just kept on getting distracted and getting it wrong. It was like at the 5-minute mark, and I was like, no, you don't even need to be sending that, because it's just nonsense. So let's start again. Crazy. And that's where those crazy words come into play. That's better. Trust me, I'm not going to say you that previous link, because it was nonsense. An aristocracy, meanwhile, is a very different. Autocracy. Okay. A technocracy. Kleptocracy. Okay, all, take care. I might update my end of thing, because Instagram's freaking me out these days with its removal of fact checking, and so is Facebook. They're just both terrible platforms. I mean, they were always terrible, but I don't know. I might switch from Friends of Name Explain the Facebook page to like a Reddit or something. I don't know. This is just me rambling. Thank you so much. Bye.